Yeah, I don't want you to ignore the things I'm going to tell you in this video. You can make more money, but it's not even that. It's just the overall app itself, Grubhub. So, driving for Grubhub right now. I know it's not the biggest platform. I know it's not the most popular, but it's there. And I'll be the first to admit, I would ignore sometimes Grubhub when I'm multi-apping, driving on different apps at the same time, using DoorDash and Uber Eats. I wouldn't really pay attention to Grubhub. In this video, I have 3 different levels of tips. Stay until the end here, level 3, the most detailed to actually make more money because yes, based on my recent shifts, based on what I'm seeing, we might not want to ignore this platform. Tip number 1, the open versus closed market. Take a look. So this is my Grubhub service area. You can think about it here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I can go online anywhere in this outlined zone. Why does this matter? Because obviously you have to be in the zone, you go online or you schedule. Compare that to DoorDash. Look at this. So DoorDash breaks their entire market into these smaller sub-marketplaces. Yes, you could dash in any of this like service area, the different sub-marketplaces, but only in one sub-marketplace at a time. Yes, you can switch, but only if it's busy enough or if you have certain perks. You don't have to worry about that on Grubhub and subsequently Uber Eats here. So if I'm driving on Grubhub, it would help you more to learn more wider reaching areas of your marketplace. Specifically, we call it power strips, areas that are really dense with opportunities. Because if you get pulled further away, you might not be as worried if you're familiar with those outskirts or different areas versus always having to come back to a certain zone and being familiar only with that certain zone. Staying on the map here, let's zoom in here. You see this? These colored blocks here, these are hot spots, like trending areas that are busy. You would think getting offers. Here's how I use hotspots. I basically do the same thing on Grubhub, on Uber Eats, on DoorDash, even rideshare back in the day. I kind of ignore most of these hotspots, and here's why. I use my own market knowledge of where I feel like if it's busy or not, these are good places to wait. Now, it doesn't mean I fully ignore the hotspots, but I'll tell you, especially on Grubhub, I mean, I almost 100% ignore the thing because I know in my marketplace where offers are going to come from. Because yeah, you can have a hotspot and there's like 1 or 2 restaurants around there versus, I'm not going to wait there because I know this little plaza or whatever it is has a lot more restaurants, and those restaurants typically, because we can't predict everything here, are more busy. Still on level 1 here, let's look at an actual order request here. Let's just grab one. This from a recent Grubhub driver shift that I did here in Pittsburgh. I'll leave some shifts linked down below in the description. Take a look here. I'm not going to go over the actual like entire breakdown of the order screen, but one thing I noticed on Grubhub, you might have more time to accept than other platforms. And they show you like the bar, this accept bar goes down. So there's a visual counter, but there's actually a numeric counter as well. Now this is at 46 seconds. And I'm thinking that might max out at like 50 seconds. I'll have to pay attention to it the next time I get a Grubhub offer. But some platforms like Uber Eats especially, they give you 30 seconds. Sometimes it feels like 20 or 15 seconds. Sometimes that thing pops up and it disappears. That's level 1. Let's move into level 2 here, get a little more complex. And if you got this far, can you like the video and make sure to check out our new gig app for you, ShiftMate. Track, optimize your earnings, tax reporting, trend analysis, learn from others, and make money, shiftmateapp.com. Let's talk about bonus pay, getting and actually optimizing using bonus pay on Grubhub. Basically, at least what I've seen, comment down below if you see different. I only really see one kind of bonus pay. It is the per delivery bonus called missions on Grubhub. So here is how you find missions. Go into your earnings tab and you'll see it right here at the bottom. In this case, I saw this right before filming this video actually. It's a mission for $3 extra, repeating, which is fantastic, completing one delivery. So you get an easier way to say it. You get an extra $3 for every single delivery you complete. Although this is kind of a negative, I guess, of Grubhub. The time, it's from 12:08 p.m. until 1:25 p.m. So kind of an odd time duration there. And that makes me think kind of like Walmart Spark, because Spark is very specific. So instead of a more general window like 2 to 4 p.m., 1 to 5 p.m. like DoorDash is very clear. Oddly specific there, but you can get bonus pay. The takeaway is in how I would use missions to make more money on Grubhub, A, it's quite rare. Arguably, it's just as, if not more rare than peak pay, the per delivery bonus on DoorDash. Let me know in your marketplace which is more rare. So knowing that if I get a mission and Grubhub is doing well, I am more prone to go out there and drive on that mission. Frankly, especially a $3 extra per delivery bonus mission. Looking at the same offer here, do you see anything that stands out from other platforms? I mean, there's a large reject button at the top right. The layout was not good, so they did improve that. I mean, it says food delivery. I see the restaurant stuff. Look at this though, the actual icon, the delivery icon on the offer card, it's called. This will tip you off, not only of course what kind of offer it is, but how high paying it is. That's because this is a standard delivery icon. It's the bag, it's the arrow, that's your standard delivery. Now there's ones that indicate there's a drink as well. That doesn't really matter for earnings, more so organization. Not a huge deal, but then there's offers like this. It kind of looks like a little catering symbol or something. $22. 3.6 miles on a single offer. That is fantastic. Now, I say it looks like a little catering hand with like a little, whatever it is, tray thing. It's not necessarily a catering offer because I took this offer. What I believe this is just a large offer because this particular offer was 2 large bags of food. So of course, if you see high pay, I mean, you should accept it anyway, but if you see this icon, you want to keep seeing this and maybe position yourself or think about when, how, if you can get more of these large orders. But how do you set yourself up to get more of these high paying offers? So with that, let's get into level 3 here, the most nuanced, and specifically how Grubhub says they assign some of this stuff. But more specifically, let's talk about the scheduling system on Grubhub because I never really schedule on Grubhub. You don't have to, you can just go online. Like a lot of these platforms, if it's busy enough. Grubhub, Uber Eats, it doesn't necessarily have that restriction. At the time of filming this, I can go online whenever. But there might be benefits to scheduling, but you can only schedule and get preferences scheduling with certain metrics. Grubhub says, quote, there are a limited number of blocks available for any given time during the day. If multiple drivers set availability for the same time, we determine who receives the block by first checking the degree to which we can match other availability provided. You set your own availability. They'll also compare against that. Then we'll use your individual delivery stats like offer commitment rates, on-time arrival at merchants, and a schedule commitment rate to determine which drivers receive priority. So if you're in a competitive market or just that time slot, it fills up quickly, there's not enough time slots, it's always that kind of post-work dinner rush, you want to grab 5 to 8 p.m., whatever it is, pay attention to this. So here's my Grubhub driver stats coming from someone who really never does Grubhub. I'm leaning more into it. So make sure to subscribe to see even more Grubhub driver shifts. All I do is help you make money, different side hustles. 19% offer commitment. What is that? Offer commitment rates is based on how many offers you accept and follow through on, as well as how many offers you unassign after accepting. So help me out in the comments down below because this describes both acceptance rates. like getting a prospective offer and accepting or declining, but also includes completion rates. I've accepted and then I finish it, I complete the offer. And then on-time arrival to merchant, 50%, guys. I mean, I'm going A to B. I feel like this is a metric that DoorDash tracks as well, but they have problems with the accuracy on because, quote, on-time arrival rate is based on how promptly you arrive at a merchant to pick up an order. 50% on-time rate, that's not accurate. And then some of those metrics on DoorDash for me don't seem accurate. And then 0% scheduled commitment because yes, nothing's scheduled in the last 14 days, but you'd want to max out these metrics to get partner, pro, premier, to get priority. So in summary, how does Grubhub distinguish itself from other food delivery gig apps like Uber Eats and DoorDash, being a smaller platform? But they're still there. So number one, like, don't ignore it. That's the main thing that I led with this video. It's free to sign up. And then once you start getting offers, I would look at the type of offers you're getting. Again, I would use our Shift Mate app. I'll leave it linked down below for you. I would see, am I getting those large offers with that like catering thing, even though it's not catering? Any XL offers? How many offers am I getting per hour? And interestingly, what I noticed, I got a 2-to-1 ratio on tips to company base pay. So I got double as many tips than I did the Grubhub base pay. So that tells me that maybe customers are tipping more frequently and or they're tipping more on average on Grubhub. We talked about possibly higher order volume, basket size, higher end restaurants. I understand there's no guarantee. It's going to vary by market, which is exactly why you want to subscribe. You want to try this, compare, contrast with your marketplace, because I would not ignore this platform.